to talk through my skin story today, kind of what led me to become the skin health specialist, the beauty medicine practitioner that I am today, the reasons behind me publishing Unmasking Acne, which is my book that I am literally about to publish in the next few months. In fact, when you're watching this, it could be even up for sale as well, so I will leave the link in the description. But I just wanted to come on and kind of talk about my story of acne. I always try and talk through this with clients that come in and that I meet online and everything, because I think it's really important to know that you're not alone when you're dealing with skin conditions such as acne, or if you have any other inflamed conditions or whatever it is, just anything that affects your confidence, especially in terms of your skin. I really understand, and I think it's really important to find someone who understands along your skin journey, because it can be incredibly isolating, and the last thing that I want you to feel is isolated in your skin conditions and feeling really rubbish in yourself. So yeah, let's dive into it. I was always really into beauty and everything as such growing up. I literally used to watch my mum like apply her Lizelle cleanse and polish, and I was absolutely just fascinated by what she was doing, because I was like, why don't I do that? Like, it's like a grown-up thing. And I literally watched her for years, like every single morning, every single evening. I was there. I'm sure she got fed up with that very fast, but it was absolutely fascinating to me. So when I kind of like came of age and I was allowed to kind of involve myself in the world of beauty, makeup, skincare, hair care, it really was so fascinating to me. And of course, like a lot of teenagers, I was like, yes, get me everything. I am so excited about this. And it was a really exciting period in my life. Like, I remember looking back and like feeling really, like I feel quite fondly about that time before things kind of took a turn, because it was like I was trying to find my identity through self-expression, and I think that's a really important journey to actually like be on and like have that experience. So when I turned about 13, as many people do, I started getting some spots, and very fast it turned into incredibly severe acne. Now when we talk about severe acne, we're talking about nodules and we're talking about cysts. I'll pop some photos up here so you can kind of see the kind of severity of the acne. They're kind of like large under the skin bumps. Basically cysts come to a head, nodules don't. They're just very firm, and a lot of people kind of get them mixed up with like boils, because they kind of do replicate that. They are really hard, and they are really hard to get rid of yourself if you don't know what you're doing and don't know how to go about it. And it can be incredibly isolating with this severity of acne. Of course, having acne in general is isolating, but when you have severe acne, it's such a much smaller percentage of people that when you do get the severity of acne, it can be like, oh my god, why me? And that's exactly how it was for me. Like, I remember I would look around at my peers and I would be like, what have I done? Like, why is this happening to me? Why is nobody else experiencing this? I don't understand. And it was really confusing. So my mum and I kind of tried to resolve this ourselves. So what we did was we went straight down to like Boots, we went to Clinique counter, we went to Clarins, we basically bought expensive skincare routines, and she just tried everything for me to just kind of clear my skin, because we didn't really want to go to see a doctor about it. My brother had a similar experience growing up, and I know that he I think the doctor just wasn't great with him, so we were kind of avoiding that as much as we possibly could until we had no other option. But yeah, so we tried lots of skincare products, that anything that claimed like acne spots, like anything like that, we were like, yes, get this, let's do it. And none of it worked, of course, and we ended up in Lush, you know, which is like more natural and stuff like that. And I remember having a conversation with one of the really lovely girls that worked in there, and they tried so hard to help, but obviously this wasn't their forte. Like, like acne, yeah, they didn't have a clue, but they tried to help as best as they possibly could. And again, we just went away with another skincare routine. We even tried those, I don't know if they do them still, but they're like tea tree steaming tablets, and basically like you pop them in like a bowl of hot water, and you have like your face over it, and you put like a towel over your head, so it's like you're steaming your skin. And we tried a lot of things, none of it worked, and we even tried like old wives' tales and things like that, where you get like hot plastic, because we were trying to treat boils. Like that's what we were looking at, because that's what it resembled. It was so severe. It was not a nice time, as you can tell, but we did end up eventually going to see a GP, so I went to see a doctor, and I think they ended up trying me on Duac cream. That didn't work. I believe then it was limocycline. That didn't work. So eventually, after quite a long period, I was referred to see a dermatologist at a hospital, and unfortunately I was prescribed Roaccutane, and things just kind of went downhill from here, even more so. So if you don't know Roaccutane, it's a hospital prescribed and monitored medication. It's quite severe. Like, the side effects on this were absolutely horrific. They had things like suicide ideation, depression, obviously. There was just muscle fatigue, liver damage. Your skin would like peel and rip and bleed, especially around like your mouth area and your eyelids, which I got so bad. Like there was a lot of days on this medication where I just physically felt like I couldn't get out of bed because of the feeling in your body. Like it was so painful, like your limbs would hurt. It was absolutely horrific. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. And they said it would probably be about 6 months on this medication. I got to the 6-month mark and they upped it by a lot, and I was on it for another 6 months. So I was on this for a whole year before I saw like a decent improvement in my skin. And I think I only had one blood test that whole time, which wasn't great because it's so harmful. Like this medication can like just form a fetus. Like it was a lot. And yeah, it was quite a traumatic period of my life. I was being bullied horrifically at secondary school because obviously I looked different. I had this acne, and it made me feel really insecure. Like there was times where like I would walk around school and people would just turn and stare at me and like look in disgust, and it really obviously like it affected me mentally. It was such a hard thing to experience as a young teenager. It means a hard thing to experience at any age. But teenagers can be quite cruel, and yeah, it was so isolating. I mean, the muscle exhaustion was so bad that I had to stop doing like my physical education classes, and I had to go to like a special class during those sessions, and people would ask me like why, and I didn't know how to tell people because it seemed so silly, like, oh, you do this because you've got spots. Like it seemed such like a surface level problem, and I remember wishing like that people would understand. And it was such a hard period of my life because I was already feeling really isolated, really depressed, really anxious, and then this just made it 10 times worse. And I just didn't know really how to help myself. My attendance literally got so bad that the school had to intervene because I was just missing a lot of school. But I did get clear skin after that year. I think I was just a few months shy of turning 16 and leaving school because I'm an August baby, so you know, one of the youngest of the year. And I remember we had one of our last appointments with the dermatologist. I remember sitting there and thinking, what happens now? I was so scared to come off this medication because it was all I'd known for a whole year, and I relied on that, and I thought, oh my god, this acne is gonna come back when I come off this medication. And well, it did a few years later, but we'll get to that in a second. But they essentially were just like, yeah, like you've got scarring now, you've got really deep scarring because obviously the acne was so severe, and we're not going to cover this on the NHS, like you're going to have to go private if you want to sort scarring. And I very naively thought that once I came off this medication, my skin would look like how it looked before I started getting acne, because I was like, oh, like it clears my skin, like it helps my skin, like in that way. And obviously it didn't. So I remember I had to go through a really big grieving period once I came off this medication. I was absolutely scared as anything that it was going to come back. And also now I had to realise that my skin wasn't perfect, like it was always going to have texture, and that was something I was going to have to deal with, because scarring is one of those things that it's really hard to improve scarring, because once that damage is done, it's very hard to reverse or improve. Like that is just how it is, unfortunately. Like there are things you can do, but it takes a very long time to see a significant result, especially when it's that severe. So yeah, I was really scared. I really didn't like myself at this time. Like I remember I would avoid mirrors for the longest of times, and that's still something that I now and again struggle with today. I suffer with skin dysmorphia to this day because of my experience that I had with acne, and if you don't know what that is, essentially it just means that sometimes I can't tell how good or bad my skin is, because my mind will lie to me about it, because I really sometimes can't tell the reality of the situation. It's, you know, similar to body dysmorphia in that way, but it's about our skin. And that can be really challenging sometimes, especially now that this is my profession and I see everyone else so clearly, of course, but when it comes to myself, it's all of those preconceptions, all of that bullying, all of those self-belief, those core beliefs that are now instilled in me because of that experience that was really hard to go through, and it is one of those things that you work on daily, and it does get better, and other days some days are better than others. Like it is one of those things. So if you're struggling with that, know that it does get better. Like you're not always going to feel like this. Like it does fluctuate. Like healing isn't linear, like ever. So this is included in that. The wounds for dealing with my experience with acne were incredibly deep, and obviously I was left with physical scarring, some of which was actually my own making. There was one specific experience that I did have, where I did, no, I can't talk about that. So when I left school, and obviously I was off Accutane now, and I was kind of just like trying to find a way to love myself in this new way, I did sort out a facialist. I was like, okay, I'm gonna improve my skin. Like I got very obsessive about it because of this experience. Like I wanted to try and control the reality of my situation with my skin as much as possible, because I was so terrified that the acne would come back. So I did sort out a facialist, and I went for facials for a very long time. Must have been about 4 years. Must have been about 5 years. Oh my god, that was a long time. 5 years. And I remember one time I was booking my next facial, and I saw that my facialist offered microneedling, and it said that it helped with scarring, and I was like, oh my god, I have to try this. And I got that, I think it was like every 3 months or something like that, and it did help. Like I started to see an improvement in my skin, and that really helped me along the healing journey, because I knew that I was doing something proactive to help myself feel better in myself, and that just naturally just had that like knock-on effect where I did feel better. And of course I started an art college as well, and that comes with a lot of acceptance just naturally, which was really nice to be around, because everybody was trying to creatively express themselves in whatever means, and that made me feel really like I belonged somewhere for the first time probably ever. And that really helped, because I was like, oh, these people really don't care like what my skin looks like, that it has scarring and things like that. These people really don't care, and that was so different than what I experienced. Like my whole secondary school experience was you know, everybody cared, everybody stared, everybody said something to me about it. Not everybody, of course, but a lot of people did. When I did go to college and it was like a whole different experience, this was so strange to me, it was so foreign, and it was really helped on my like self-healing and love journey. But slowly, for the first time in like potentially really ever, I stopped hiding behind like thick layers of makeup. There was days that I was then able to leave the house without makeup on, as I slowly started to accept and love my skin again. But I wish I hadn't have waited until I had clear skin to start that self-love journey, which is what I teach my clients now, because if I had started when I had acne, even though it would have been harder in a lot of ways, it would have really made it easier when I got clear skin, because clear skin didn't mean all of a sudden like magically I'm gonna feel better about myself and I'm gonna love myself now because my skin is clear. Like that didn't happen. Like it helped like a little bit, because I was like, okay, like, you know, my skin's clear now. But you know, how I felt about myself for years really played into how I felt about myself after I then had clear skin. And if I had started working on my identity and my self-love and my self-care way before, you know, I got to this checkpoint, it would have made my life so much more pleasant, so much better through all of that hardship. So if you are going through acne right now, please consider, you know, whether you're seeing a therapist or you're just really working on emotional nervous system regulation, having tools that help you with that is going to be the best thing you can do for your mental health. So I really, really recommend starting before you get to where you want to be with your skin, because it's never too late to feel better about yourself, and you don't have to wait for permission from an event to feel better about yourself. Like you can start now, you can claim that for yourself. The only person that gets to decide how you feel about yourself is yourself. Obviously there are external factors that really play into this and make it harder, but at the end of the day you get to decide that you're enough exactly as you are, and you really should decide that for yourself before you spend years feeling worse about yourself when you could have been feeling, you know, at least okay. So with that in mind, at about 16 or 17, not too long after that, I did embark on my own journey into therapy and seeing a therapist. And I remember I felt so ashamed of it at that age, because it was quite taboo, and I didn't even tell like my family or anyone. The only person that knew was my partner at the time, and I felt quite isolated, but talking to a therapist really helped, and really helped me start loving myself even deeper, because the trauma that I endured from those experiences, and other experiences too of course, they ran so deep, and they did need help kind of bringing to the surface, especially at that age when I was quite vulnerable. I've actually now been to therapy through 3 different occasions, all of which have massively helped. And it's one of those things now where I'm like, I expect like everyone I meet to have experienced this, because it's such like a normal part of my life now, that I'm always really taken back when people, I'm like, you haven't seen a therapist? That's like not a thing that you've done. Like it's one of those things, it's so like normal to me. So I want you to know that it's okay to go to therapy. You don't have to feel ashamed about it. It's actually such a normal part of being a human, is, you know, having compassion for yourself, learning to better yourself and feel better in yourself, because it's never too late to kind of want that for yourself. As you can see, it went okay for a while. It was going well for a good few years, and then as I turned, I'm not sure what age I was. It was a young adult, so anywhere between, I must have been about 20. I must have been about 20, 22. I started seeing the acne come back, and obviously I was so much happier in myself by then, because I had worked so hard on learning to love myself and healing those wounds, and it'd been such a long time. But obviously when the acne came back, it's like I was taken back to my 13-year-old self again, and I thought, oh my god, I'm not going through that experience again, even though I know it would have been different, because, you know, as an adult I have so much more control of the situation. I'm not surrounded by a bunch of young teenagers that can be quite cruel. It was completely different, but it felt so the same. And I was already in the beauty industry by now. I was doing what I like to call fluffy facials, where they're more like holistic. They don't do too much in terms of the actual integrity and health of your skin. They're more for relaxation, basically. I embarked my journey more into skin. I stopped doing other services, and I realised that skin was obviously my passion because of my whole experience with it, and I wanted to help people with that too. And if I figured out how I could actually do this, then I could help other people as well. And that's exactly what I did, and that's when the skin triangle, my signature method, was born. And that's where I look at skin basically topically, internally and emotionally. And basically it's like, the way I always describe it is if you had a 3-legged stool. The stool is only going to stand if it has 3 legs, so you have to approach your skin through all of these 3 pathways. If you miss one, the stool is going to fall, like it's not going to work. And that's the way I kind of explain it to clients in the best, easiest way I can. And yeah, I managed to clear my adult acne. And obviously now I know so much about skin, because the amount of education that I had to go through to be able to do that was just absolutely incredible. It's been a fantastic, like, almost 4 years of being in the skin industry now as I record this, and I wouldn't change any of those experiences that I had when I was younger or older or now presently, like any of those experiences that I've had with my skin, even though they were so difficult. But it's allowed me to pursue this career today and to help other people avoid the fate that I went through with my skin, and trialing those medications and having those really traumatic experiences. Now I get to be a person for other people that I needed for myself, and that is the most healing thing that I possibly ever could have done. And I've turned all of that trauma, all of those horrific experiences into something really incredible. And now I get to help people like daily, like improve their skin and feel better in themselves, and it makes me really emotional even thinking about it, because it really hits home, and it took me such a long time to feel okay in myself and to learn to love myself. And now I get to help other people with that and fast track that experience for them, because it feels incredible to finally accept and love yourself, and you deserve to feel like that. It was a really challenging experience as well when I started in the skin industry, because there is so many conflicting opinions about things, like so many specialists, therapists, dermatologists, anyone has an opinion about your skin and how you should go about it. And obviously, like, the dermatologists, they are taught something very specific about how you should target acne, and it's from a pharmaceutical point of view where, you know, here's some medication, off you go, even though it has a long list of side effects. Like, we're probably not going to do that many tests on you, if any tests at all, to look at the underlying cause. We're just going to give you this medication so we can move on to the next thing. And that's not the dermatologist's fault, that is the industry as a whole, that it's unfortunately very quick fixable. Same with like marketing and skincare. It's so frustrating when you see all of these skincare products, which is like, this can clear your acne, this is the next best thing to use, and then you spend hundreds and hundreds of your pounds trying skincare that's not going to clear your skin, because that's only addressing your skin topically, when it's always an internal issue. When you have a chronic skin disorder such as acne, like, it always comes back to internal and emotional factors. Anything that you do topically is more of an addition, and can help in a much smaller percentage. So it's kind of like a complementary thing is what you use topically. So it is really frustrating. It's like the chemical peel thing. Everybody is offering a course of chemical peels to clear acne, and that is, you know, that's fine if you want to do that, like, there is a place for it. But also, I know too much about skin now. Like, it's such like it's a curse. But like, obviously with chemical peels, and I could sit here and talk about this all day, but chemical peels, they destroy your skin microbiome. They're literally destroying the bacteria that helps your skin thrive. And I will make another video all about the skin microbiome very soon, so go check that out on my channel, because it's probably one of the most integral parts of skin health that nobody's talking about, and it's really frustrating because why isn't it general knowledge? I don't know. Well, I do know, it's because everyone loves a quick fix. But that's the thing with chemical peels, it's not addressing the root cause. Anything that you're doing topically to help clear acne, you know, it's only helping from a topical standpoint. So if you've got fungal acne, obviously it can be quite helpful in that regard, but for most acne it is an internal situation. Like, you do have to address it by the root cause, which is why topical treatments usually aren't enough to help acne. That's why medication isn't enough to help acne, because a lot of the time it's caused by hormonal imbalances, and then as soon as your hormones shift, even after you take that medication, etc., then you're just back at square one, because you're not addressing the fact that your hormones are mismanaged and they need attention. So there are so many different things that I could bang on about. That's not the point of this video though. I really just had to cut through the noise is what I was trying to sum up, but then I just went on this whole rant because clearly I get very passionate about it. Obviously this is all in my book anyway. But yeah, it is frustrating, and even as I set to publish this book, Unmasking Acne, I know that I'm going to get backlash about it because it's not what people want to hear. People want a quick fix. They want things to happen so fast. I mean, we're in the age of what, you know, TikTok is so popular, and they recommend, what is it, 6-second videos? That's how long our attention spans are on TikTok. Like, that's insane. It's so crazy. So you can see how, like, as a society, we really are big on the quick fixes right now, but to actually help your skin long term and keep the acne gone, you do have to address it from the root cause. Now, I'm not saying that my skin is perfect. That is not what I'm about. Because who decides the idea of perfect anyway? Like, it's literally just like a construct. It's just an idea. And I think it can be really frustrating for a lot of people, especially when you're in the skin industry and you are this example for other people of how you should look and how you should be and how you should act. That it can be frustrating because people expect you to have clear, glistening, scar-free, smooth, glowy skin, like the ideal, you know, societal standard for beauty, essentially, right? But it's impossible to meet that standard. Like, there is just so much that goes on in our bodies all of the time, and to keep your skin clear consistently, it's not about perfection. It's just about staying consistent with habits that you form that really impact the overall health and wellness of not just your skin but your whole body as well, because when your body is healthy, your skin is healthy by default. Obviously your skin is literally your largest organ. What naturally affects the rest of your body is going to show up on your skin. The way you should treat acne is the fact that it's a symptom. It's a symptom basically saying, hey guys, like, look at me, there's something going on underneath the surface that I want you to pay attention to, and that is what acne is. It's just a signal for you to pay attention to. So regardless of how you think the ideal situation is for your skin, like, you're not gonna probably have poreless skin, you know, you're not gonna have clear skin 100% off the get, like, you're gonna get one-off spots. It's not about being perfect, it's about being realistic and staying with the program and staying consistent and actually wanting to better yourself and feel better in yourself, and also practicing self-love and compassion, because we're in such a digital social media age where we don't see the reality of people. Everything's filtered, everything is a highlight reel, and we're not seeing the reality of life anymore. So have compassion for yourself. Those people you're seeing on your social media right now, they don't look that perfect in real life. I don't look like this in real life. There is two fantastic massive lights in front of me that are making my skin look like this, and I'm wearing makeup. So like, there are so many different factors that affect how your skin looks. So have compassion for yourself. Don't strive for perfection, because who decides when you reach that anyway? You will have setbacks. You will feel bad about yourself some days, but you'll also feel incredible about yourself some days. And it's all just about the actual health of your body, because at the end of the day, you want to live longer, you want to feel good in yourself, and you want to have a full, amazing life, and that is what this all does basically. So as I said at the beginning, now I am a skin health specialist. My qualified title is a beauty medicine practitioner, which is very cool, and I help people in a clinic, which I'm in right now, as you can see. I always think this looks so much like a green screen because it's just so like perfect. But this is real. So yeah, I help people in clinic, I help people online, and obviously I'm publishing my acne book really soon. So yeah, definitely go grab that. It's on pre-order as I'm filming this, so go check it out. If you get it on pre-order, you get a bunch of bonuses as well, which are incredible, some of which includes like some things that just help you start your journey with clear skin. But that is exactly what my book is about, Unmasking Acne. Basically is a guide for exactly how to clear your skin holistically from home, without medication, without a bunch of like expensive things. Like, it's just about teaching you and educating you and how to help yourself and stay consistent with that, including, you know, the skin triangle, like I said, so addressing your skin topically, internally and emotionally for full skin health essentially. So definitely go check that out. I obviously want to help you on your skin journey. It's incredibly fulfilling for me, so please give me that. If you take away anything from watching this video, please know that you don't have to go through what I went through. There is another way, regardless of what your social media influencers and dermatologists are telling you. There's another way, because it's worked for my clients, it'll work for you. I hope you start making informed decisions about your skin and you are able to cut through the noise with my channel and my information and education that I'm sharing with you. That is my hope for you. So if you did enjoy this, obviously please subscribe and like and share and all the rest of it. I basically upload once per week on Fridays, so I will see you next Friday. Thank you so much for sitting through this. I know it was a little bit of a long one, but yeah, I'm Tabby. I'm sending you so much love, and I shall see you soon. Good luck on your skin journey. You've got this. Bye.